Welcome back, everybody, to Mixed Media Creations with me, Creative Katie, Karen Burchell. I feel really blessed to be back, and here's an art journal tutorial entitled Blessed, and it's my 2018 Word of the Year. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. That way you'll be notified of upcoming videos, and there will be some. Word of the Year 2015 was hope. 2016, trust. 2017 was persevere. And 2018, my word is blessed. Here are the supplies that I'll be using in this video. This video is also a video that, well, was supposed to have been released, way back in the middle of December, before my laptop decided to die and sent my whole life into a spin. So the challenge with this collaboration was to use black, white, and one other color, and I've chosen phthalo blue. And to have an abstract figure. Now, if you've watched any of my videos, you know that there aren't usually a whole lot of figures, abstract or otherwise. So that presented a bit of a challenge to me. So I looked at things and looked to Pinterest for some inspiration, and I thought about an angel. And I thought, okay, an angel's body doesn't have to be terribly precise. And then I figured out another way that I could make it even easier. I'm going to use this stencil from the Crafter's Workshop entitled Crazy Waves. And I'm going to use parts of it for the body of the angel and for the wings. Of course, you could just draw those freehand if you have the confidence to do that. But I'm showing you that there are shortcuts to be had if you want to do them and you are, like me, drawing unabled. So there's my word, and I had this cut out with my silhouette before my laptop died. And as you can imagine, I don't how much I use my laptop for. I print off my quotes, I use my Silhouette Cameo and cut out die cuts and words. It really sent me for a tiz. So what I'm doing is I'm just masking off parts of the stencil that I don't want to get the modeling paste on. And I find that if you cut the tape into smaller pieces, it can more easily maneuver around the corners and the curves. Now I really like this swirl pattern on this stencil, so I'm going to use it. For the wings, I'm going to use kind of the shape from the stencil, but then I'm going to do my own thing, and you'll see that. So I got this Christmas, one of my 12 Days of Christmas gifts from my husband was this silicone brush. And this one I think is 2 inches, and I really like it to putting on the modeling paste. It's big enough, and it replaces the credit card, but again, it's not a necessity. I'm putting that on, and once I dry this with a heat tool and clean my stencil, because remember, it's really important that you clean those stencils after modeling paste. Not so much acrylic paint, as you can tell by my stencils. So I'm going to use this part of this stencil for the wings, but I'm not using the middle part. I'm not actually going to use the stencil to stencil the modeling paste through. But I am taking the general shape. And yes, I could have drawn, and I did tweak it a little bit and change it. And composition-wise, I have it kind of off-center. And I just want to make sure that this word, blessed, fits. This stencil is from Joggles, and I will put the link to it and the other stencil and any other specialized products that I've used in the description box below. And thank you so much for those of you who have shopped in my Amazon store And, you know, I do get a small commission every time you buy. It doesn't cost you more, but I am highly appreciative of those of you who are shopping in that store. So again, I'm just masking off this shape because I don't want the modeling paste where I don't want the modeling paste. Now I chose this joggle stencil because it just reminded me of feathers. The texture that it creates is going to kind of look like feathers. Now I have in my stash sheets of paper that I have taken stencils and put modeling paste through the stencil on a whole sheet. And I have that in my filing cabinet. Now I could have just cut out these shapes out of those pre-texturized sheets of paper and then collage them on. So that's another way you can do that. And hopefully I'll show that in another video. It's a great time saver because then you don't have to dry it. You've kind of skipped a step. Now, the word of the year for this year is blessed. And there's a saying that, a couple sayings that really move me and come back to me frequently. And one is, don't think about how stressed you are. Think about how blessed you are. And I think that's really important. You know, we tend to focus on what's not going well or what's wrong, and we lose sight of the blessings that we have. And this year, I want more than ever to think about those things that I am grateful for. And one of those is I am grateful for you, my subscribers. I've gotten a few messages from people when I stopped making videos telling me that you missed my videos. And, you know, it is a blessing. And I realize how fortunate I am to be able to make videos and to share my art with you. So that's one of the things. The other saying that, and I've lost it. Anyways, right here I am using phthalo blue and I'm mixing it with either black or white, and it looks really dark. In real life, this is a nice kind of Prussian blue look by the time we're all done. But it's reading very, very dark, and I think that has something to do with the poor lighting in my studio, which I will have to adjust for. Obviously, I haven't been doing videos, and it's amazing what you forget. Oh, the other saying that I was thinking of was what would you be thankful for tonight? If you woke up tomorrow only for those things that you gave thanks for tonight. And ever since hearing that saying, and I've butchered the quote, so sorry, but ever since I've heard that, I don't go to bed without being thankful for those things that I absolutely want to wake up to the next morning. I love the contrast that is developed here with this dark blue and the white. And I think I experimented a little bit beforehand. I think I finally got the wings low enough. I kept putting them too high up close to the neck. And I think this is a good placement for them. So this product is called Shimmery Goodness, and it is an iridescent medium from the Crafters Workshop. That and the stencil I got from the Crafters Workshop, a contest that they had. And I absolutely love, love, love this product. I've had iridescent medium from other companies, which I've used. You know me, I love my shimmer. But this one is extra special, yummy. So I'm really thankful that I have this. So I'm just kind of putting it on, and I want to kind of get some flow and movement happening with how I'm putting it on. Now this iridescent medium does not dry perfectly clear. It's kind of a pearlized effect, which I love. So all those brush marks will stay there. I'm putting it on a little bit thick just to get that movement around the angel. And as you can see, the iridescent medium did lighten the blue in the background. If you're wondering, yes, I will be starting up my mixed media technique tag videos again. Now that I've got the video, my computer and everything there, and was able to download Movie Maker again, and not being forced to learn a new video editing program, which I know I will have to because Movie Maker will be, you know, gone. It's no longer being supported, but at least I can get videos done and while I'm learning, so the pressure isn't on. So I'm using white gesso, and I'm just going over the area that I put the modeling paste. And the reason for this is I want the modeling paste areas, the textured areas, to take whatever product I put equally as the same way that the paper underneath it is going to. And if you don't have gesso, you can use white paint. Now while I'm doing this, I'm thinking to myself, am I going to leave this the way it is with the very, very subtle texture, or am I going to bring out the texture in the wings and in the body more? So I'm loving that texture. And if you want, you can choose to leave it. But I decide to add to it, kind of emboss it to make it stand out a little bit more. So on the side, I have a little bit of the blue paint and a little bit of the black, and I'm putting it on the pad of my finger and tapping it up and down so it gets very tacky and almost like a dry brush kind of thing, right? And then I'm just rubbing it ever so lightly over top. Do not rush this step. If you rush it, you're going to get too much paint and you will regret it because it will ruin the effect. This is an effect that's best built up slowly, like stenciling. And I find I'm adding the black as well as the blue because the blue by itself kind of paled out against the gesso a little too much, and I didn't want a baby blue. I wanted more the blue that I have in the background. And when you're done, it's when you think it's done. So you just add a little more, a little more. If you end up putting too much, and I do in a couple places, you can go back in, tap on white gesso, and redo it. So worst case scenario, it costs you a little time and a little gesso or white paint. but I don't want all the swirls to look equal. I want it to look very rustic, I guess. So I'm grabbing the gold paint and I'm adding another color, but for me, quite honestly, that's like gesso. Gold paint is like gesso, and I'm putting it on the wings. I just, you know, if you know me, if you've watched my videos, you know I have to have gold on there, and this one isn't any different than any of the others. I just really needed that gold. So I guess I stepped away from the challenge, but I'm okay with that, because I think it improved the overall page. I did try with the iridescent medium. I thought that would give enough shine and pearlized effect. It just didn't. And there you get a good shot of the iridescent medium where I added it on top of the blue. That's completely dry, and it's just giving that beautiful effect of light from behind the angel. So I'm just adding a little bit of that gold. I have these dots that were part of that stencil along the side of the angel, and I just thought that would look good in gold. And when you have gold left over, what do you do but grab your fan brush or another brush, add some water, and splatter. And the splattering just kind of brought the whole page together. Everything kind of got a splatter. I do in a minute cover up the head of the angel because I didn't want it with gold splatters, but everything else. After probably a good month of not making videos, and you know, it just really stopped my creative flow, because every time I turned around I would need something that I started with my laptop. So it feels really good to get back into the studio and back to creating. If you have any suggestions of any techniques or anything that you would like to see a video on, please leave that in the description box below. I can't promise that I know what you want, but if it's within my abilities, I definitely will add it to my list. So off camera, I glued down the word blessed with gel medium, and it's a matte finish. And I'm just using my woodless charcoal pencil here and just kind of giving it a little bit of shading. It just needed a little something, something. And I'm going around the edges just to frame. The page. And then I'm adding a little bit of gold. And I like doing that. I like putting a darker color and then gold. And that just adds, and the gold just frames it again. Thank you for joining me. Enjoy the few pictures that I have of this page. What's your word of the year? Share it in the description box below. Bye for now.